plays physical like that all year long, you are going to win a lot of football games, and I promise that to you right now. But it's the little things that we just got to correct.
Good evening. Welcome into Griffon Sports Spotlight on News Press Now. I'm your host, Brandon Zenner, joined by Western head football coach Matt Williamson. Yet again, week 2, Coach Willie.
Yep, week 2. Got to get ready to go. It goes pretty fast once the train starts going. You're moving on to your next opponent. We got a real tough opponent this week as well too. But our kids are working. Actually meeting right now and talking and working on Labor Day, and we're putting things together to have a lot of success this Thursday.
Now 28-6 the losers, week 1 in Maryville, but this game felt like closer to a 22-point margin. You said after the game there is a moral victory in this one. Just how do you guys look back at how you embraced that challenge week 1?
When we played last year, we were still kind of finding ourselves a little bit. It was my first year, still trying to rein people in, get everybody on the same page. I thought we got out physical by Northwest last year. They played a little bit harder than us, and it was kind of a growth thing for us, but no questions asked. We played very, very well. We out-physicaled them and out-efforted them hands down. We just made some critical mistakes. When you play a team, with a high caliber as them, if you make mistakes like that, they take advantage of that, and it's kind of put us behind a little bit. But our kids kept fighting. We kept playing and kept grinding. We had a chance, but we just kind of let it slip away right at the end.
How have the guys responded since that loss on Thursday?
They're mad. You can just kind of see it. They're just still hungry. It was a little bit of a taste, knowing, watching how physical we played and the things that we did, and just a couple minute little things, key things that happened in the game would have changed the game tremendously. And I think it just feeling that and seeing it, especially when you get back on at home and look at the film, it really kind of smacks you in the face a little bit. So they're ready to go.
All right, now let's dive into these highlights, look back at the action from Thursday. We got four different sets of this game. It was kind of a story as the game unfolded. Perfect atmosphere to get the season started. Rivalry game to open up your season. Got to be juiced for this one, Coach.
Yeah, it was fun. There was a lot of people there. There's a good number of people that attended the game. We had a great support from our fan base. It was good. It was loud. And you know what? I was proud of our guys. A lot of times, kids in new situations, we have some new players and new environment that it works. It kind of works in a negative ways where they kind of get lost in the game. Well, our kids, just the vision and the drive and their passion just kind of took over. They didn't let the game get out of hand.
All right, so you guys open up a strong first drive here. Don Marino gets connected with Luke Vang right there. First down, and then you guys second drive keep moving. You had to like how you guys moved the chains there.
Yeah,
especially big throw to Elijah Cunningham.
Yeah, we did. We kind of moved the ball up and down the field on Northwest. It was very good to see. We just kind of got stalemated as we got closer to the red zone. But we had some receivers make some nice catches. Don made some really good throws as well too. Tyler Bass missed his first field goal, obviously.
Yeah, want that one back.
Yep, but came back and hit some later, and I'm not worried about him at all.
So instead of Western being up 3-0, we go scoreless with Northwest taking the field, and their freshman Braden Wright going to get in rhythm. He is going to connect on a 52-yard touchdown throw to Jamie Taylor right here. After he gets in rhythm there, finds Sean Bain, but then he hits you guys with a deep ball. What happened here, Coach?
Well, right there, we were in a cover 3. We had a miscommunication. We had number 2 went right down the seam. We're supposed to collision them, and our corner's supposed to play a true thirds and split the field, and he wasn't able to do that. He just didn't do it. Kind of got maybe caught up in the moment or something, and kind of gave him an easy score. Didn't do anything different. It wasn't anything. It was just a basic technique on that corners.
Mm-hmm. So Northwest goes up 7-0. On to the second quarter. Another productive drive by you guys. Keelan Mack, he gets a few catches, and then Don Marino right there. He was really steady for you guys all day, but then on this keeper, he gets you guys inside the 10, but a holding penalty later in that drive keeps you behind the chains. Tyler Bash got to settle for a field goal that makes it 7-3. Then the Bearcats going to go on another deep ball to Sean Bain, kind of the same concept, some zone coverage, and you guys just kind of got beat there, Coach.
Yeah, well, they motioned back from the one of the receivers back to the backfield, which causes us to check to a certain coverage, and we didn't get a line correctly and gave them a little skinny post on that one. But the holding penalty, when we moved all the way down the field and we were putting numbers and moving the chains, and just you could look at their defense obviously has had success in the past, and we were putting it to them as we went down the field, and they stood strong right at the end there.
And then you see Josh Caldwell finding the end zone against his former team there. Northwest goes into the half up 21-3. Real quickly, what's the feeling in the locker room down 21-3?
They knew that we just had a couple mistakes. Those two big passes are really the only thing that they had success with. Yeah. If you look at it, they had where we felt like we had to throw it a little bit more, which we can do that. It's just we were way more effective, and a lot of just a true technique. He kind of, because he moves around a little bit, he's got to get squared back up and get his feet set to make a good throw. But he made some really good throws on the night. If he would have put a couple of those other ones together, we'd been all right.
All right, so then Braden Wright goes on for that rushing score. 28-6 the final in this one. Let's go ahead and look at the stats. Western, they finished 20 first downs, 13 just for Northwest. Western possessed the ball 35 minutes, 3 of 17, though, on third down for them, 4-13 for you guys. Dom Marino, 301 total yards away. Take away, just what do you look at in the stats? What stood out to you about week one?
Well, obviously they're good defense, and you look at the points they give up. They held us on points wise, but yardage wise, I was really impressed. We moved the ball on them. A lot of teams don't have a lot of success moving the ball on them, moving the chains, and I think we did that, and we were able to throw the ball and put ourselves in different situations, which was really, really good. And then defensively, I thought, besides you subtract 4 plays, and you always say that if you subtract 4 plays, it gave probably about almost 2/3 of their offense were on those 4 plays. Yep. So I felt really, really good about it, as an overall whole. And I talked to the team about that as well too. Is that we came out to play. We played physical enough. We played with the effort and everything that we're expecting every single week. We got to minimize the critical points in the game. If we minimize those, it's a totally different ball game. Should have probably been 6-3 at halftime or something. So somewhere over there, if we didn't have the 2 passes.
Yeah, you take away the 2 passes and that long run in the fourth quarter. By then, they have 222 total yards of offense. Now we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll dive into the top performances of week 1. Get you set for week 2 at the Spratt home opener against the Fort Hays State Tigers. You're watching Griffin Sports Spotlight on News Press Now.
Everything that kept us paralyzed was nothing but a bad dream. One day we're gonna wake up. Was nothing but a bad dream. I don't want you.
Touchdown! This is as good as it gets.
Join us for the 7th annual Pony Express Run on Saturday, September 29th at 8 a.m. Whether it's a 5K, half marathon, or a fun run for the kids, choose a race that's right for you. Proceeds for this event benefit the Junior League of St. Joseph and our charity partner, the United Way of Greater St. Joseph. Find our page on Facebook or visit ponyexpressrun.org for race maps and other event information. The 2018 Pony Express Run, September 29th at 8 a.m., sponsored by Ad Astra Running.
I lost the weight to feel better.
I did it to be 100 pounds lighter.
I did it to keep up with my kids.
Whatever your reason, let the new Slim for Life Breakthrough program help you get past setbacks and barriers so you keep losing the weight. Visit slimforlife.com and get Slim for Life. Right now, get 30 days for just $30 and lose up to 30 pounds. You could lose up to 10 pounds in your first week.
About dominating your opponent today.
And here come the Irish. Again, Claypool, this time going for the pylon, and he is in for the touchdown.
For the first time in history, Ball State travels to South Bend to take on the Irish. Ball State, Notre Dame. Saturday on NBC.
Welcome back into Griffin Sports Spotlight on News Press Now. Brandon Zenner joined along with Coach Williamson. We were talking about that week 1 opener. You said all fall camp. Dom Marino, he told me he wanted to bring this team along with him and bring his team together. What did you see in his game on Thursday? It seemed like he was quite the leader out there for you guys.
Yeah, he's always been a great leader for us. Since he walked on this campus, he just got a great personality, great aura around him, and he just kind of brings people in, and they jump on board, and everybody's all together. But he led the team, kept fighting, kept trying to find a way, try to put some points on the board. He managed the clock, he managed the game, he made checks, everything that we want him to do. He was really on point with. We just missed a couple throws here and there, and then the penalties killed us. When we got close to the red zone on offense. But he's a good one, and he'll keep getting better and better and better, more confident. Obviously, coming to a new offense, a little bit new offense as well too. So as he grasps that even more and more, it'll become a little bit easier for him.
226 yards passing against what might be the top defense in the nation. Again, wasn't sacked last year. I went back and looked at the stats. The most passing yards you guys had in a game was 228. What could Dom be capable of with his arm this year? We know what he brings with his legs and the whole team brings with his legs, but where could you guys take a step to in the pass offense this year?
Well, I think Coach Brown's done a really good job working with him and fine-tuning his technique. He did really well. He moves in the pocket really well. He steps up, steps out, scrambles. But one of the things, as you watched last year, he didn't set his feet. He didn't get proper technique when he threw the ball. So when he followed through or dropped his elbow and stuff, a lot of times the balls would float a little bit or wouldn't be on point. His precision's gotten quite a bit better, and I think we can continue to work on that as the season goes along. But we've got some electric, receivers as well too, and we've got some guys that caught a few balls, but there's still we've got a lot of kids out there, and if we're able to run the ball and be put in a situation where we can kind of mix the both up, it's going to be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Now, you also welcomed back some players from injuries last year. James Husky, Willie Washington, they were flying around. Anthony Williams, a welcome aside as well. What did you see from those returners, James, after the game?
Yeah, it's really, really good. Because it's tough when those kids put all that effort and all that time into their sport, and all of a sudden get an injury, and then you got to sit out a year. Man, that's one of the toughest things you got to do, and you got to kind of lift those kids up, because everything keeps moving, the whole team keeps moving, and they're just kind of left behind. And we rallied them up last year, and we kept them on point. They've worked really hard in the rehab, but you could see there's a lot of explosive plays from James Husky. Anthony Williams did some really good things, and Willie played about 2 or 3 games, but he was still kind of last year, but he was still kind of learning what we're doing. He knows exactly what we're doing. You could see he was playing fast, and he was lighting people up. It was cool. He won we have the Big Stick Award that we give every week, and he won that. He probably had about 3 or 4 hits that were pretty impressive. So it was fun. Really, really excited to see him, because you don't really get to see that game atmosphere in practice. You do some live stuff, but it's not the same. But when we got out there, he was on point. All 3 of them played really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, your program, over the offseason, we talked about, you guys made some news for cameos on Netflix, the series on Last Chance to You. The series showed a D coordinator down there recruiting Carlos Thompson. Justin Richter was down there for you guys, showing the facilities. Lots of good promotional for you, but you guys have got Carlos Thompson back eligible this week. We saw what this receiving corps did last week. Keelan Mack, Elijah Cunningham having nice games. Carlos, what is he going to be able to add to this offense, Coach?
Well, he's real electric, but he's still kind of far off. Not getting him to practice until, this week is the first time he'll be able to practice. So it's more of a mental prep for him. He's got the talent, the tools, and he's very electric. But we just got to put some time together with him to just make sure he knows what he's doing, because you can't put someone out there that doesn't know what they're doing. It just kind of messes everything up, from blocking to running certain routes to just the windows and everything in the passing game. But he's a superior athlete, very, very talented, but we just got to try to get him ready as fast as we can.
How's he handled having to come in and sit out and take into a new coaching staff?
I think it's really good. It's a totally different environment, for him. We surrounded him. A lot of our players have surrounded him and lifted him up. He's a really good kid. You sit down and talk to him one-on-one. He's a really, really good. He's had some tough times in the past, but he's got a great spirit, and he's got a great heart, and he's working really hard, and he's anxious to get back on the field and play and stuff. But he's 100% too. I saw him up at he came up to the Northwest Missouri game. He was there. I mean, he's he's all about Missouri Western. That's cool, and the show was great for us to be on there because we do have the best of facilities in Division II football and heck in FCS football as well too, and so we're going to continue to recruit highly talented athletes, but recruit as hard as we possibly can and make sure that we're turning this thing into something special.
Now, week 1 was a big test. Week 2 as well. The Fort Hays State Tigers coming to town. They won the MIAA last year. Let's take a look how they won in week 1. A wild 2016 victory at home over number 18 Central Missouri. Let's set the scene. UCM, they outgained Hays by 200 yards. The Tigers don't find the end zone until the 4th quarter, and then this happens. The backup quarterback for UCM loses the pass, and then fumble recovery leads to the Fort Hays State touchdown. All-MIAA quarterback Jacob Zera. Tulane Bieberly, that's a pretty wild finish, Coach.
Yeah, it really was. As you watched the game, you looked kind of Central was getting after him pretty good, and then, Fort Hays knocked Central's quarterback out, and kind of, you could kind of tell as he got in there, they didn't want to do hardly anything with, they were very, 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 very conservative at that point, and then ends up making a big mistake, and Fort Hays took advantage of, obviously a little probably home field advantage, and making something happen right there and getting an opportunity to win and come back and get on top of them. But they're very, very talented, don't get me wrong. I think Central is as well too, so but just the fight, and that's Coach Brown does a really good job. Those kids are hard and they believe that they're going to win. They had a great season last year, and they're always going to come out to compete. And that's something that we talk about with our kids as well too. So it'll be a great environment this Thursday night.
When you dive into the film, what do you see from Hays on both sides of the ball? What kind of challenges do they present?
Well, I think offensively they're very talented. They're physical up front. They want to try to knock you off the ball. Similar style that we want to. They've got an electric running back. He's a slasher. He does really good at his zone, but he can run the power game as well too. And then the quarterback, he just kind of runs this. He's just kind of a captain back there. He just runs. He's not super dynamic in any way athletically or anything like that at all, but he just runs the show. He's very efficient with his throws, makes the right checks, and they just continue to move the ball down the field. They've got a couple of shifty receivers that can make some things happen a little bit as well too. So we've just got to line up and play play physical and play fundamentally sound like we did last week, and just kind of clear up those other things. Offensively, defensively, they were really good last year, and I think they're good this year as well too. But they lost their NFL draft pick that he just pretty much took up the whole interior offensive line. You're always so worried about him because he was so dynamic and so explosive. But those guys, they're just fundamentally sound. They do a really good. The coaching staff does a great job teaching the kids where they're supposed to be. They don't have a lot of checks. They line up. They play football. They play downhill and play fast. And we've got to man up and make sure that we're playing at the level that we did last week. And I challenged our players this week to say, let's find out. I want to see if you guys can do, because I was, to be honest with you, to walk into Northwest Missouri at their place and out physical them, I was fired up as a head coach. I was like, we're heading in the right direction. This is what it's all about. And so I challenged them this week. Let me see if I can get some more of that. Let me see if I can get more of what you did last week. And that's what I said to them after the game as well too. We're going to play with that. And it's all about a transition of learning and making sure that you minimize all the little detailed mistakes that we had, and once we get that all cleaned up, we're gonna have fun.
What are the keys to week 2? Being in there when the end of the game comes.
Well, I think week 2 it's a preparation. The teams that do the best preparation through the week, picking up what the other team is trying to do, how they're trying to attack, the advantages, the disadvantages, and putting that all together, learning it and being able to practice at a fast pace. I talked to our guys about that last night. We've got to pick it up. We've got to study film. We've got to know exactly what they're doing and trying to accomplish that, so we can get lined up and stop their top 7 to 8 plays that everybody's going to run. Everyone has their top 7 to 8 plays. You have a couple trick plays and their top 5 or 6 pass plays. We've got to be on point to where we can line up and be able to fit everything up perfectly, make the tackles, make the plays. But then also we have to get open. They do a good job. I think their secondary is talented, so our receivers are going to have to get off man coverage. They're going to have to read, because they do a lot of different zone and man package stuff where they're going to have to read as they're running their routes to adjust some of their routes and what they're doing. So just the mindset, going in, And I don't think, I'll be honest with you, I didn't have to get our guys fired up for last week. And just looking at them when I walked into the meeting room when we first met and started to talk about Fort Hays, you can just look, they're just eyes. I mean, it's like a totally different team room than we had last year. So we've just, as coaches, we've got to continue to be great leaders, continue to push them, show them what we were wanting to accomplish, and we'll just continue to grow and grow and grow.
You're going to do it at home. Home opener, Bill Snyder Pavilion is going to be an electric place this week. They're going to have, you can actually go there for a party pregame. They're going to have Vanzino's barbecue, which is delicious.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have beer there from Hi-Ho that can be sold. Pregame concert in the parking lot. It will be a great time. Coach, thanks for joining me this week. 7 p.m. kickoff Thursday at the Spratt, Missouri Western, Fort Hays. Thanks again, Coach. When we come back, we'll finish up with the incredible story of Missouri Western's newest coaching hire and his tale of living the real American dream. You're watching Griffin Sports Spotlight on News Press Now.
Why are so many people switching to Suddenlink? Could be because Suddenlink has the fastest internet in the U.S. Call 855-873-1188 and find out for yourself. With internet starting as low as $19.99 a month for 1 year. With internet from Suddenlink, you can stream, chat, game, and watch your favorite movies, shows, and online. Looking for more speed? Suddenlink has speeds up to limited time. When you call 855-873-1188 and upgrade your internet to 1 gig, we'll give you Netflix for 1 year so you can stream the entertainment you love. All the drama, comedies, action, original content, and amazing documentaries anytime you want. And if you already have Netflix, we'll even pay for it. That's a $130 value. Call 855-873-1188 today and get the fastest internet in the U.S., starting as low as $19.99 a month for 1 year, and see why so many people are switching to Suddenlink.
Back to school means back to early mornings, getting the kids up and ready to go. We start our day even earlier so we can get you the information you need. We try how to plan your day. Tune in to Morning Edition for everything you need to know to get your day started.
The only thing that matters is October.
Intensity and the energy and the spirit of this Griffin football team, and it's going to continue to grow and become more and more powerful.
We're at the very early stages of establishing an identity, a culture, a program.
Gonna keep on trying till I reach my smile.
So what Yuri Levitsky brings, aside from his Division I experience over the past 2 years, he's bringing experience from 3 nationally prominent Division II programs, starting at Central Missouri, where we know what kind of success they've had, a 2-time Division II Coach of the Year at Angelo State, which has been a perennial power, and he's coached national champions there, to Western State, which is pretty much distance U.
In the last 12 years, I've been an assistant, and I've worked for people, for great people. And one of my long-term goals, career-wise, has always been to be a head coach.
Like any first-time head coach, there will be a learning curve for Yuri. His work ethic is second to none, and this will not be the hardest thing he's had to do in his career.
Tell me your secrets and ask me your questions.
I am originally from Bulgaria. The environment that I was in was poor, very poor.
Nobody said it was easy.
We were not fortunate with a lot of blessings, but we had a great parent in the face of my mom, a strong woman who raised us.
Oh, take me back to the start.
I've known track all my life, since age 11. I was very close to signing a professional contract, close as far as marks are concerned. I had a B standard for the Olympic Games in Athens, 2004, in the triple jump. I also wanted to pursue a college degree, and I had to make a hard decision. We didn't have a collegiate system at home. University of Northern Iowa knocked on the door, and they were recruiting me very actively and aggressively. They wanted me bad. Decided to jump on the plane and go pursue a college degree without any English whatsoever. Could not speak, could not read very well. I was walking with a dictionary in my back pocket, trying to figure out what to say, what word to say, and how to say it.
Nobody said it was easy.
I have a great passion and love for the sport, and I love helping others. That's just the combination that is the driving force for me.
The work ethic he has and what he's been able to build to put himself in this position.
Well, as of February of this year, I became a U.S. citizen. It was a long process, took about a total of 10 years, and the journey that I took was very meaningful to me. You know, leaving my home country, obviously, to pursue a college degree at first, and then later on a coaching career, relationships, family members, all of that was combined into this journey.
That will do it for us this week on Griffons Sports Spotlight. Make sure to join us next week for a look back at Western Fort Hays, and we'll dive into Week 3 between the Griffs and Central Missouri Mules. You've been watching Griffons Sports Spotlight on News Press Now.